Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Pay Index, I'd like to welcome you to the launch of TradeSure. At this point, I'd like to invite Mr. Ndege to come and give us his opening remarks.
All right, good morning, everybody. First, apologies for the delay in starting off. We were starting off at 10 o'clock, but we had some slight delay getting the guests for 1 hour. Karibuni sana, my name is Ndege. I'm the CEO of Pay Index. We are here to launch a new service that has been designed, and we are doing it in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce. Reason being that we think the service is very useful and key for their members and others. I would like to recognize as we move along, representing the Chamber President, we have Mr. Samuel Mukoko. He's the Chairman of the Banking and Finance Committee of the Chamber of Commerce. We also have the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Samuel Tonda. We also have invited guests who are sitting here from the chamber itself, and also online. I know we have a lot of people who are watching the event online. I would like to say Karibuni sana, and let's proceed with this. We'll make it nice and short, and we go thereafter we'll be able to do interactions. Just to go into the introduction, what exactly we are dealing with today. One of the things that you have noticed in the recent past, the trend has actually been for transactions or purchases to move online. There are many reasons. It could be the impact of COVID. But generally speaking, if you look at trade because of the availability of internet, either internally and also cross-border, most purchases have now moved online. If you look at even the availability of mobile phone payments, it has allowed a lot of people to be able to transact online. And let's be clear what online here is. Online doesn't just mean that you're moving into the internet space and accessing goods and commodities there. It could be me sitting here in Nairobi. I have a client in Busia that I want to trade with. They don't have to physically come to Nairobi for me to sell to them. They just need to order what they need to order from my catalog, and then I send the goods and to them. So as we speak, you can literally buy anything online now, whether it's a vehicle, whether it's a phone, whether it's a a PC. And what is even more amazing, supermarkets have moved to the point where you just send them a list, they fill the cart for you, and they deliver to you. So the reality of it is that as we move along, the expectation is that e-commerce is going to be the key driver for most business transactions. In fact, one of the interesting things that the government itself has recognized this, and I'm taking this off from the Communication Authority. They have defined e-commerce as any trade that is done either via computer, as they may like to call it, or what we say the internet. And it can be anything. It can be either within the borders, which is domestic, and it can also be cross-border. So that is something that's recognized even at the level of the government. And for the services like what we're trying to discuss here, our work is to come up with services and solutions that support and remove any risk that may be there on the transactions. There's been an estimate in terms of the growth of Kenya's e-commerce. It may be small now, I think it's in the regions of a few $1 million, but the expectation, according to some research that's been done, is that by 2024, you'll be talking over $2 billion dollars, sorry, not million shillings, 2 billion USD as the size of the e-commerce trade. So you're looking at a very significant market in terms of both growth, in terms of support across the board, what you can be able to do, and in terms of also the impact. Interestingly, some of the solutions that have come up in the recent past have actually been because of the impact of COVID. What most businesses realized is after the closure or inability to have customers come physically to the shop, you need to have a way of enabling your customers to continue to trade with you. Right now, I don't think there's any shop in this town or this country that does not have an online portal, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on their website, that allows their customers to call in, view the products that are available, and then you can order and pay, and they deliver once the transaction is through. And one of the key things, and in fact it's been recognized as being one of the key drivers, is a report that was done that has said that because of COVID, in the last couple of years, the number of entities that have signed up for online transactions have grown to by over 34% in Kenya. So that's been one of the key drivers. There are certain risks if you look at how online transaction is conducted. And here again, we are talking about why do we need an escrow service, right? First, what is an escrow service, right? To be very clear, an escrow service is a payment arrangement where the seller and buyer who are acting on a transaction online seek the support of a third party, independent third party entity who holds the payment interest for both parties until the transaction is completed. So once both parties have finalized or completed their obligations, the seller has shipped the goods as required. The buyer has received the goods in good order and has confirmed that that's what they ordered for. Then the seller can receive the payment. So in a nutshell, and as simple as it can be, that's what an escrow service is. So the idea behind an escrow service, as TradeSure is to support all these online transactions, all these businesses that are doing transactions online. You may have heard, and I'm sure the people in this room and others who are watching either know or have had their own experiences shopping online. You've had instances, I've had a lot of anecdotal stories of people ordering items. Either you receive, there's a joke Kenyans like to have, what you ordered and what you received, right? It's a running joke. But when you're talking about a lot of money, if you're talking of 2 billion USD, if you have significant fraud with that kind of transactions, then it can limit the growth of e-commerce. In fact, I remember a newspaper report recently said one of the greatest impediment to growth of e-commerce in Kenya is fraudulent transactions. So an escrow services TradeSure will be able to mitigate that risk for both the seller and buyer, where the seller is assured that the funds are available to complete the transaction, that when the goods are delivered and received, they'll receive the payment automatically. And the buyer, on the other hand, is assured that their money will not go to the seller until they have received the goods and services in good order. So TradeSure will sit in between the and buyer, will allow for the seller to have confirmation that the funds have been received in the escrow account. And once they get the confirmation that the funds are received in the escrow account, as per the transaction agreement, they will release and ship the goods. And then once the buyer has received the goods on their side, they confirm that they have received the goods in good order, and then the funds are automatically released to the seller. So that's the essence behind an escrow service. We currently are running this on the off the M-Pesa platform. So it runs off a dedicated pay bill. So instead of you sending funds to your merchant pay bill, because obviously once you pay into their pay bill, basically the funds have gone through. It sits on an escrow pay bill that is running on the M-Pesa platform. And once the transaction is completed, or if the buyer, of whatever reason the transaction is cancelled, the funds can either be sent to the seller once the transaction is done, or it's reverted back to the buyer if the transaction is cancelled. So there is full transparency in terms of how the funds are being held. There's security because you're running it off a national payment platform, and there's assurance and that the funds are not being held by the third party itself. they're actually sitting on the M-Pesa platform. So with those remarks, I would like to invite the key note speaker, who's representing the Chamber President, Mr. Sam Omukoko. Thank you very much for your time. Sam, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much, Mr. Wachira, Chamber CEO, my namesake Samuel Matonda, Metrolites who are here, can see quite a number, that talks about the relationship we have with the Chamber. Now, just before I read my speech, which I had to write down because I'm representing the Chamber President, I probably need to say something about Mr. Wachira. For many of you know that the Group Managing Director of Metropole Corporation, which runs the Metropole Credit Reference Bureau. Now, that bureau mechanism, which you call the Credit Information Sharing Mechanism, is the brainchild of the two of us, Mr. Wachira and myself. We started that journey way back in 2000 and worked together. I don't know why he left me behind. I think he must have seen greener pastures elsewhere, but I can assure you that gentleman's input was so crucial for us to get to where we got today. So when the history books are written, Mr. Wachira, you will always find your page in those books. As for myself, I understand the mechanism that is being displayed here, which is a product that will be very much suited to micro and small enterprises, even large enterprises when it comes to exchange of goods. What we have seen in the banking sector was situations where cross-border trade has a lot of challenges because you have to exchange goods and you have to exchange money. And you are exchanging these things for people who don't know each other or who have not met. The only proof of what's happening is the documentation that is being exchanged. So when you have a mechanism like this, I can see that it has taken advantage of technology. It is faster and it is secure. Usually, the part, if some of you can recall what happens in a letter of credit transaction, because a letter of credit transaction handles both the movement of goods and the movement of money. And there's always a challenge that if I am a seller of goods and I have released my goods, how do I know I'll get the money? And also the buyer is also saying, how do I know that I'll get the quality of goods that I ordered for? So I think solving this problem on a platform like this, which makes the transactions faster, is a serious innovation, which is welcome in today's world. So I'll go straight to read the speech that I prepared. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from the Chamber President, Mr. Richard Ngatia. It is indeed a great honor for me to represent the Chamber of Commerce on this important occasion of the launch of TradeSure Escrow services. I also stand before you in my capacity as the chairman of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Banking and Finance Committee, and as the Group Managing Director of Metropole Corporation. By way of a brief introduction, KNCCI is a membership-based trade support institution that is working to protect commercial and industrial interests of the Kenyan business community. Our membership consists of micro, small and medium enterprises and even large enterprises spread across the 47 counties of Kenya. KNCCI advocates for the creation of a favorable commercial, trade and investment environment that supports enterprise expansion. Towards this end, the Chamber has been at the forefront in addressing challenges that members experience such as lack of access to affordable credit, lack of markets, delayed payments for goods and services supplied to government, fraud and default-related losses, inadequate entrepreneurial skills, among others. The TradeSure service is a welcome and timely innovation for businesses in Kenya and especially for SMEs in the prevailing COVID-19 environment that has seen a surge in the adoption and utilization of online platforms and e-commerce to reach customers. By design, TradeSure receives and disburses money only upon evidence that all provisions and conditions of a mutually executed agreement made between two parties have been satisfied. The platform therefore removes the risk of fraud or default, and by extension addresses the challenge of information asymmetry that would otherwise have been a deterrent, especially where transactions require payment or delivery of goods in advance. This means that businesses can boldly expand sales and profitability by allowing new and existing customers to transact securely, locally, or cross-border. The service further serves as a solution to the perennial cash flow and liquidity challenges that SMEs face due to late or non-payment of their invoices. It is unfortunate that there are businesses that have crumbled due to such delays or non-payment, had to incur debt recovery costs or ended up negatively listed in the CIB for loans taken, often to fulfill customer orders that eventually run into default. With TradeSure, both the seller and buyer can rest easy, knowing that the payment for goods and services rendered is ready and available to be released once the necessary checks and confirmations are done. As I conclude, I would like to convey mine and the Chamber President's message of congratulations to the Pay Index Chairman, Mr. Kiprono Kitonyi, Director, CEO, and the entire team of the TradeSure Escrow Service. As KNCCI, we are honored to be part of this event and pledge our support to help raise awareness of the benefits of the service among our members. Without further ado, I now declare the TradeSure service officially launched. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Pay Index. Congratulations, TradeSure. Welcome to Kenya. Apologies, I did not introduce myself. My name is Washuga Toto. I am the Commercial Manager for Pay Index, also Project Manager, TradeSure. At this point, we are going to ask the two gentlemen, Mr. Makoko and Mr. Ashira, to kindly sign the endorsement certificate. This time we're doing it different. Please, gentlemen, come with me. So at this point, I'd like to welcome Mr. Samuel, the CEO of Atonda. Please come and give your closing remarks.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sam from Coco, representing the Chamber President, Mr. Richard Ngatia, the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Washira and team from Pay Index, Distinguished chamber members and other audience present, both physically and those who are virtually connected to witness this launch. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The launch of this product, TradeSure, is timely, and already Mr. Mukoko has said why. When we are trading globally, because trade is actually now conducted in this small village called the Globe, it's a matter of building trust. You are trusting the person whom you are not able to see. And in other religious quarters, we see that's an action of faith. You're just sending money to someone that you didn't see, and the person on the other side is sending you goods or providing services. You don't even know whether you're going to be paid. So digital commerce is actually with us today, and there is no way we run away from it. It is important that we just take it up and ensure that we utilize this service that is being offered by TradeSure so that we are able to really continue transacting globally. Mine was simple, to give closing remarks. But I thought it's important to just congratulate Pay Index for what you've done, for giving us this product. We will find it very helpful, especially the chamber members, because I know with the recovery post-COVID, though the COVID and the pandemic is still on, but we are seeing there's a lot of good and positive recovery. There is increased trade. So I think that is very important, that we do not continue arbitrating when we have payments not made or supplies not delivered for payments which have been made. And I think that is a very important product that will enable us to continue working together to ensure that we grow wealth globally. After the launch of this product, I really want to encourage and call upon the business community in the country to utilize it, because we are sure that it is a product that will enable us to grow our wealth. I would also like to call upon those of us who are online and who are physically here, who have not joined the KNCCI Chapter of Commerce and Industry, to do so, because such forums, such products are actually available, and we have such kind of networks and platforms whereby we are able to share with you to be able to move from wherever step you are to another high level. And just to conclude is to invite all of you to continue visiting our websites at the KNCCI Chamber of Commerce and Industry, because we have so many programs that they're lined up to close the year. For example, there are events in South Africa, Durban, the Traffic and Trade Fair, where we want to invite all of you and ensure that you are able to physically participate or virtually participate, get to our team and find the details. We are already having another trade event that is destined for the Democratic Republic of Congo from the 29th of November to the 12th of December this year. And we are looking at you, the business community, who are able to tap into that Central African Republic, that is the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the 200 powerful delegation that will be going is very important. We launched that yesterday with the Equity Bank and the Ministry of Trade and Ministry of Foreign. That is very important for you. There have been problems in the past of logistics and payments, but now with this, such a product, TradeSure, here with us, it means we can still send our goods to that particular market and get our payments made. That's why I had to connect that to see how real this product is and how important it is to all of us. And finally, I want to invite you also to the Expo Dubai 2020. We are planning another event on the 8th and 9th of December that will involve all the 47 counties in the country. We've already had 10 confirming, and such kind of transactions with the UAE, that Gulf markets, the QCC, is because when we have such kind of authentication of payments and suppliers, and also the buyers, with that confidence, we'll be able to transact. And I've seen in the past there could have been some challenges, and that's why I'm very, very happy that with this kind of products, Kenya is moving forward with another fast, which will make us continue transacting and move billions of dollars globally and more so to build our economy. Having said that, mine will just to say thank you very much, and let's utilize this. Let's not fear technology. Let's utilize the services that are being offered by TradeSure, and let's be able to transact and grow our businesses together. May God bless you.
You notice we did skip the bit of media interviews. We would like to now welcome you for a cup of tea. We'd like to have breakfast with you for coming to see us launch this product. And at that point, I would like to mingle with everybody, get to know the TradeSure team, ask any questions, and we'll be glad to answer. Karibuni. Ciao.